Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Joe Concha and former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, you've lived this. Joe, you've covered this. Governor, I don't think it's ever been this bad, and I did predict a long time ago, back in 07 and 08, that journalism is dead. I had no idea at the time how right I really was.
Yeah, the truth is, Sean, Elvis Presley is more alive than journalism is today, and that's just an absolute fact. It's long been gone, and I thought that this article, you alluded to it earlier, from the NPR veteran of 25 years, was stunning, not in its revelation of something we didn't know, but in his admission of it. I mean, just coming out and saying what all of us have felt now for years, and I think the obvious question to that is, why in the heck do taxpayers invest a dime in something that absolutely hates half the country and half of the people who are helping to pay for it? Maybe it's time to just say, with the deficits we have and the incredible debt we have, there are some things we need to get rid of. We could start there.
Do you see any network, news network, ABC, CBS, NBC, Joe Concha, MSDNC, fake news, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post? I mean, they are all aligned politically. By the end of this election cycle, combined, this will be the biggest campaign contribution in the history of presidential elections. That's it. I mean, you can't ask for more fawning coverage than what they give Joe Biden and more anti-Trump coverage. They're obsessed with him every second, every minute of every day.
Sean, you want to know how broken, utterly broken our media is, to your point? On MSNBC tonight, their special guest that they promoted the hell out of, by the way, on social media, was Michael friggin' Avenatti, phoning in from federal prison to comment on Donald Trump's trials, to give his analysis on the whole deal. You cannot make this stuff up. And look, here's the most telling part of that NPR story, and perhaps why I've seen, unless I missed it, nothing on the other so-called news networks regarding this piece. Yuri Berliner, who won't be invited to CPAC anytime soon, he is a liberal, wrote, quote, "The laptop was worthy," Hunter Biden's laptop, "but the timeless journalistic instinct of following a hot story lead was being squelched," unquote. So it appears that Trump's election 7.5 years ago probably prompted the biggest chain reaction in the history of this industry. Many journalists at outlets, and it doesn't matter what acronym we're talking about, NPR, PBS, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, renounced any rules and norms and ethics of journalism and then proceeded to basically bear hug publicly what many of them always were privately: political advocates and activists, and in the most insufferable and pious way possible. And this posturing was only compounded by the fact that their friends in the media all cheered each other on with likes and retweets, which is the ultimate gold stars to those impossibly insecure and attention-starved people. And what this NPR piece shows, Sean, Mike, is that they believed that they were on the right side of history, making their blind partisanship justified, all while saving democracy, they say, from a man who they believe was worse than Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Darth Vader, and, Dark Helmet combined, Sean.
Governor Huckabee, look at what we learned this week. We saw that the Biden campaign was furious, and they let the media know it because they weren't covering Donald Trump to their liking on the issue of abortion. And all they did in this case was accurately lay out what Donald Trump had said. And then, of course, how many in the media are ignoring Death to America chants in Michigan? And I think this is of grave importance because the Democrats and Joe Biden and their campaign, they are scared to death. 100,000 Democratic primary voters in Michigan didn't vote for Joe Biden. 18.9% of those votes went against him, 50,000 in Wisconsin. So Joe Biden now would rather sell out our ally Israel in their war against terror, the worst attack in their history. So he would have a better chance of winning Michigan and Wisconsin and other states. Wow, that in and of itself should be a massive story.
Well, it should be. It's such a crass political position to take when the lives of Jewish people in Israel are literally on the line. And here is a country, the most freedom democratic country in all of that part of the world, the only one, in fact. And it's threatened with its very existence, and Joe doesn't seem to really care. It's stunning. And here's the White House yelling at the press, telling them the story that they ought to be covering. And it makes me think of, when you watch a basketball game and the coach goes and yells at the refs, and suddenly all the calls start going differently. I mean, that's what we're watching right before our eyes. They're screaming at the striped shirts, and the striped shirts have decided, take off the striped shirts, put on a jersey, and just go ahead and cheer for the home team. And that's what they're doing.
It's a great analogy. Governor Huckabee, Joe Concha, thank you both. We appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.